Uh, First thing I'd say is that not being around the Lions, I can't really make the comparison like Indomitian possibly can. But what I think it says is that everybody on our defense, everybody on our team has high expectations, and we all want that. And I think from a coaching perspective, the talent that we have, coupled with the way these guys have been working since back in the spring, that I think gives us the confidence going into the season that we have an opportunity to be a very good defense. We really do. And if we come together like I think we can, we've shown small snippets, you might say, of what we could be like here in the preseason. We haven't really had enough body of work to say one way or the other, but we've been solid with the first group, and there's been a lot of bright spots with some of the other guys backing them up. So overall, I think the expectation level is as high as it's ever been, certainly since I've been here, and now we have to go out there and prove it, and we'll do that by putting our team in position to win games starting with September 13th.
Coach, to follow up on that, would you say you, as a coach, you like that confidence when a veteran like that
Absolutely.
says that?
Yes. I think it's a symbol of not only do they appreciate the other guys around them. When someone's been in the league for a long time, they can get a sense, players and/or coaches, as to what your potential is. Again, but potential is one thing, like we always say, and now we got to go out there and prove it each and every week as we get started. But it's a good. You have a good vibe. You got a great vibe in the building. The chemistry of this team is the best it's been, since I've been here, and generally, when that reflects an attitude and confidence, and that's good going into the season.
Kevin, what do you look for in a 4-3 middle linebacker, and do you guys have that on this roster?
Yeah, I think we've got multiple guys that have the qualities to do that. First and foremost, you're looking for an instinctive football player that likes to take charge and communicate. And I think we've got a number of guys that have worked in there. Kelvin Shepard has done a very good job here, taking that role upon himself. Koa has made great strides in that capacity as well. He's been out, as we all know, here the last couple of weeks, but yet, he's going to have opportunities to show that. And we've got some young players, too. Zach Vigil has really stepped up. The great thing I think I've mentioned to you guys a little bit is that I don't feel that the game for some of our young players is too fast or too big, like sometimes people say. I think our young guys have gotten great reps, great work. I think Duff has done a great job with the young linebackers. So guys like Zach and Jeff Luke has stepped up. So, there's something special about the middle linebacker in every defense. Some obviously have more physical traits that you might like to see in terms of what you ask them to do. But yet I think we've got guys that can fill that role.
Are you closer to a decision? I mean, do you feel like Shepard should be enough in BC's absence for him to be the guy?
I think the final decision has not been reached yet, mostly because Koa hasn't been practicing and playing in the preseason up until this point. So, but it's not an issue where we lay awake at night worrying about it. It's going to work its way out. We feel confident that we've got the right mix of guys that can get the job done. So we kind of let it back and play its way out. And this will be a good opportunity to assess where we're at when we come off the field Saturday night.
What have you seen from Chris McCain, and what do you think he still needs to work on? Because obviously that decision will have the domino effect.
Yeah, same thing. Chris, Chris is a guy that flashes tremendous athleticism. You love his height, you love his range, you love his length. He can do a lot of different things, but the consistency down in and down out is something that, I just talked to Chris on the way off the field, and I just want to see him go out there Saturday night and just cut it loose and be the athlete that he's capable of being. don't think too much, don't worry. It shouldn't be. Our game plans have been simple, and they'll continue to be that way. But I don't think we've seen the best of Chris at this point. I think he knows that. We know that. But we know what he's capable of doing. So, again, we'll see how it progresses here this week and over the next couple of weeks prior to the opening game. But he can play better. He can be more impacting, both as a linebacker and as a rusher, and I hope we start to see that.
You guys gave Brent the game off last week. What did you see from the guys who stepped in there for him?
Well, there's still a lot of competition at the corner spot. Unfortunately, I thought Jamar had started the game very well, and that was an outstanding interception he made. The technique on that play, you go back and watch it, his footwork, his break. I mean, it was textbook. It was clinic. Between Jamar and Bryce, we've got two. I mention this all the time. Really, in the NFL, when you say starting corners, that people make a big deal of who are the two starting corners. Well, three of them are going to play 60, 65, 70%, in some games, even more of the snap. So you really have three starting players that you have to find in that group. And I think we've got those kind of guys. And then we had a guy like Zach Bowman getting good work. The young players, Bobby McCain has had an opportunity to show what he can do. Tony Lepet has done well on the outside. So we're getting a lot of work for the young guys. I think we're building up some depth there on the perimeter with those people. And, I think we kind of know what number 21 brings to the table, and giving him a little bit of a rest, I think, was a smart thing.
Kevin, how much homework at this point have you done on the Washington Redskins, and also how closely have you been watching your quarterback situation with that?
The Redskins?
Yeah.
We've done a lot of homework, both last spring. We spend a lot of time, the way Coach sets up the schedule. We allocate a lot of time in the spring towards our early opponents once we identify them. But even prior to that, our in division opponents, and then certainly the Redskins. We've spent more time than anybody, in the opener. So we've got a good book on what they did last year. Obviously we've got the preseason games in. The amazing thing about technology nowadays, we were in Carolina. They played the night before we did, and we had that film in the hotel the morning when we got out of bed, and we could go down and watch, the quote coach's copy of the film there before we played Carolina. So we all saw that game just casually. You're not studying it like you're getting ready to play them the next day, but you want to see, who's doing what, which players are performing well, how they're rotating personnel, that type of thing. So we've done a lot of work, and we'll continue as we see them here this weekend. And, preseason games oftentimes don't give you a great indication of schematics of what a team may end up opening the year with, but at the same time, you do get a feel for a lot of things, and so we'll be busy at work here getting ready for that next week. The team that you honestly don't spend as much time on is your fourth preseason game in terms of a lot of film study and a lot of intense preparation.
The situation of safety with Lou out, how do you see that playing out?
Okay, first it's a shame. It really is a shame that Lou was injured, because he's a great player, and he's brought a tremendous amount to this team in the locker room, on the practice field. You love the guy for who he is and the enthusiasm he has for the game and all that type of thing. But at the end of the day, we're in the business of, it is the next man up. We've got to find who's going to be able to take that role. And the guy, the leading candidate would be Walt. And even prior to Lewis's, injury, Walt had, I think, been one of the most improved players on our team throughout the spring, throughout training camp. He's a very, very good athlete. He needs experience, and he's getting that. And hopefully will make an impact on the defense. Mike Thomas, his role has increased. Mike's a guy that you can rely on. He's very, very capable, and he's very steady and confident back there. So, you know, we've got some guys that have jumped on the opportunity, and hopefully they'll continue to keep getting better.
Okay, thank you all.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
Coach.